So hello everyone and welcome back to another video now. I'm very hyped up because I played the GM and I really want to show you that, and so I worked a lot on this video. Well, actually the GM is just gonna be beating me, that's how it usually goes, and I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. It really means a lot for me, and you know, without making the intro long and without further ado, let's see the first game. So as you saw previously, this was the opening basically. It went c4, c6, semi-Slav. And here, you know, I went for my g3 kind of Catalan setup. And this was the critical position. Here, you know, I began to think. So there are many plans in the position. But as you will see, I chose a pretty solid plan with b3. Nothing too crazy to say about this. So the game continues. We have b3, as I said, on the board. Queen e7 and bishop b2, solid castles, and here queen c2. Queen c2 basically loses the tempo to bishop f5, and now I played queen d2, which I had to play. I could have played the queen d2 right away, that would have been a much better move, but I lost the tempo, but it's not a big deal because the opening is good anyway. So here he begins to put his plan in motion. He plays the move h6, and here I play rook e1, which is not the best move, but also not the worst. This move basically doesn't give him any advantage at all. I take, he takes, and now I go after his bishop. He hides his bishop. I play the move e4 to strike in the center, and he takes with the knight, and basically this is, as you can see from the bar, it's a 0-0 position. Here he goes on to play like one of the top moves, obviously, rook f d8. But I mean, this position is not horrible with this trade. It's only the fact that this pawn is very weak right here, and it's gonna be a target, and that this knight is not in a very good position. But again, it's still 0-0s, and during the game I didn't feel, you know, not confident. I didn't feel anything was slipping away from me. I just felt that, you know, he has emerged with a good position out of the opening. Okay, so now he starts with his plan, rook f d8. I double my queen here on the d file, and he attacks my rook. I bring the rook back, and here he plays the move c5. No problem. I played queen c3. This is again 0-0, still the best moves. And here, you know, he goes for the plan of doubling rooks. And you know, basically here's what mistake I made in the game. I played the move f3, which is a big blunder, because now I cannot come back with my knight to defend the pawn. I wanted to do this because I wanted to move my rook here and not be afraid of any knight coming to this square. But what I should have realized is that moving the d rook is better, because the rooks are defended anyway, and now both rooks defend this pawn. So, you know, let's say even if this would happen now, now I could just, you know, basically just trade or just bring back my knight, and here I would be very much fine, very solid. And okay, the position is a draw, but again, I would be very solid. But instead, in the game, I played f3, and things are not looking good after this move. So after this move f3, he just completes his plan. He brings the other rook here, which might not be the best move, but I continued in my mistake. I played rook ed2, and now he just takes. And after I just take, I completely missed the next move, which is queen c5, and basically the position is now lost. As you will see in the game, I tried something, but he just got a completely winning advantage. So yeah. And this is basically the end of the game. I try c5 as a form of counterplay, but he just takes the rook, and I take the queen, but he just gets like a completely winning position. And here, to add to insult to injury, I even play this move, and he plays this, and basically I resign, because if I move the knight, it's checkmate in one. And the top engine move is to sack my queen back, but he's a GM. I, you know, he will beat me with the rook up, he will beat me with the pawn up, so there's no point in even trying. So that was the first game, a 30 move beatdown, kind of nasty to be honest. Here the move, the critical move, and I missed it, by playing f3. I opened up my king, went from 0-0 to -4 in a second. Okay, hopefully I can do better in the next game.
Și la giocata pentru cuvânt, că devenea una ceva chiar. Nu neapărat, dar cumva și pierdut timpul la un moment dat, nu trebuia. După aceea, mă rog, a jucat o inexactitate și după aceea a intrat într-o poziție un pic mai rea, pentru că pierdeam până dacă juc chestia așa.
So as you saw from the opening, he went on to play c4 just like I did, and I played e5, c6, and this setup with d6. So he set up the pieces in the same way that I did, and here basically I went for the queen trade. So this is like the starting position. Obviously there could have been a lot of variants, but I decided to go for this open file here to trade queens early, and basically have a solid game. I have this cluster of pawns, maybe I can push b5, d5, and I'm relatively safe. Castles, bishop e7, relatively safe, passive, but kind of safe. So he also played the move b3, and now knight bd7. I continue developing, and here I go bishop f5, saving my bishop, although the engine doesn't like that, but okay, I'm not the engine. And I drop my knight in the center, pretty natural play. I want to go castle, and here, e4 not the best move, gives me the opportunity to retreat. Rook ad1, and now castles, which again is not the most precise move, but okay. Here the best move would have been g5, but in a blitz game, I don't know, I didn't want to play this move. I didn't really see the continuation here, although it equalizes, but okay, I played the castles, and here he played h3, so now my knights cannot jump in here. And this is another critical moment. I have a lot of plans, and I choose one of them. Let's see if it's good or not. So after this move h3, basically, I go rook f d8, and he goes back, threatening this move f4. And I get scared. I get a little bit scared, and I retreat. But he plays f4 anyway. And here, I should retreat with my knight back all the way to f8, and then maybe reroute or do something with it. But I retreat my bishop, which is worse. And here he just jumps in with the knight, and here's the first critical mistake of the game, c5, and as you will see, he pointed out to this square, and he said, what are you gonna do with that square? So let's see what I did with that square. Okay, so after this move c5, he goes back knight c2, and here basically I play bishop c6 to guard this square as much as I can, and here he decides to jump in, and I take, and then I go back. Here the best move according to the engine is f5, although he played a4 in the game, and now if I play f5, he doesn't really have an advantage. I mean, he does, it's +1, but +1 is not horrible. But I don't find f5 in the game, and as you will see, let's just look at the game because it's not very long. I wanted to go for this, but I just couldn't. Okay, let's see the game better like that. I told you it wouldn't last long. So here, as I said, I had this plan to go with the knight to f5. So I played knight e7, right? And here he played g4 to stop that. And now the critical move is f5. Because here, I stopped knight e4 basically, and the top engine move is g5. But if he were to take, then I wouldn't have any problems after knight takes, and here this is a pretty big threat that you cannot stop. Like, you cannot play something like this that gives me the advantage, after rook takes, and knight to d4. I mean, now I'm not even in bad position, but I had to find this f5 move, but with under 10 seconds on the clock, I just couldn't. And I played g6, which completely blunders the game. Obviously, I wanted to play f5 with g6, but that doesn't make any sense because now simply he plays knight e4, and there are just too many threats in the position. Like, just for example, I didn't even see the check coming, but if I play something like this, he just takes, and then takes here, and then if I go here to defend the pawn, just rook e1 attacking the knight. Where do I go with the knight? I gotta go with the knight. If I go back here, I mean, this is depressing. What is this? And if I try to do something like this, so like defend, I mean, now he simply checks me, and I'm basically, he takes with check, and I'm basically lost here. I lose a piece, and the game, obviously. So yeah, here, if maybe I found f5, I would have still played, but that's life with 10 seconds on the clock. Hopefully I'll do better in the next game. Okay, quick side note, game 3 is in a different day, that's why I'm wearing a different shirt. This is the another day. and I'm recording games 3 and 4 today. So in this game 3, I mean, the opening was nothing spectacular, you know, just a King's Indian. He wanted to test me out in the King's Indian. Basically, you know, this is a very standard position in the King's Indian, and here he decides to play a little bit of a rarer line to test my skills in this particular line. Although, you know, I don't really do a lot of prep in the King's Indian. Oops.
Și uite, cam așa a fost. Să iau și mai hai să nu te descurce. Niște chestii. Da, și atunci cumva
Okay, so you know, here he decides to play this rare line with knight c6. I castle, he plays a6, and I play e4, playing in the center. Nothing wrong with that. E5, d5, closing the structure, and now knight back. Obviously, the plan in the King's Indian is well known, and that is to move the knight back and play f5. So here, you know, I played knight d2 to try and go for this idea f4. And here, you know, after he goes f5, I go f4, which is, as you can see from the eval bar, not the most precise idea. Here, you know, a better idea would have been definitely the move queen c2, you know, just guarding the center. It's 0-0s, but you know, I decided to go f4 because, you know, I thought, well, f5, I meet f5 with f4, and here, you know, he has a very strong move that is b5, so destabilizing here. If I take, you know, he just takes, gets the open file, and now he's much better. -1, but I mean, for a grandmaster, that's well enough, especially against me. And you know, but he did not play b5, he played something else. So, you know, maybe I still got a chance. Maybe I still got a chance in this game. Okay, so here he doesn't play the move b5, that was the best move. He plays the move a5, which is not a bad move, but allows me to kind of stabilize with rook b1. And even though he gets to play knight c5, I defend my pawn with the queen c2. But this is not the best move here because of the move, you know, even Stockfish, you know, but there's a line here that starts with the move a4. But there's also, which is not very, you know, this is just like more of a methodical approach, but there's also this line with e takes f4 that, you know, can really destabilize the situation here after these moves have been made, and f4. But again, this is a blitz game, so you don't really expect things to turn like this, because here, you know, I mean, in this position it's minus 0.4, 0.5, 0.7, you know, not even Stockfish knows exactly, but let's say minus 0.5. But okay, it's a blitz game and you don't have time to calculate all of that. So here he just goes and takes the pawn, and I take with the knight. Now he pins me, but this is no problem because my knight is defended by 2 pieces here. So he plays the move b6, defending his knight. Obviously now I don't want to take, although this is still 0-0, so I didn't want him to have this open file. So here I just defend my knight. And here he plays queen d7, just improving move. And now I blunder again with the queen d2, because this is a very bad move again because of e takes f4. But this time even worse, because now I cannot even take like this, because just bishop takes c3, and after knight takes c3, simply bishop takes b1. Now he's just up the exchange. There's nothing for me to do here. And here, you know, if queen takes, then simply he takes the knight. So yeah, but he doesn't see that, and he's just gonna capture. But you know, just so you know, this move was not very good. Let's see the game. So okay, I mean, now he just takes the knight here, and now position is back to 0-0. I mean, you know, just clear zeros. He jumps in with the knight, I take the pawn, he takes, and now we have opposite color bishops, and opposite color bishops in the middle game differ from the ones in the end game, obviously, because you know, now he can attack me on the dark squared complex. Meanwhile, I can only attack him on the, or defend on the light squares, but I can also attack him on the light squares. So you know, it's a different dynamic. Queen g7 obviously threatens bishop d4. I'm not gonna fall for that, but you know, the move b3 kind of stabilizes, and now you know, I'm with no worries. Queen g7, by the way, is the top engine move. He's gonna play it for sure. And you know, let's see how I manage to mess up this position. It's actually pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny, but you'll see. Okay, so as you saw, that's why the title of the video is Time is Also an Opponent. I mean, you know, I kind of lost that because I got scared because of the clock. So let's quickly recap it. So after Queen g7, I went back Queen e2. Here he went Rook f8, obviously, you know, threatening some discoveries. And then now here's the tactic that he missed, and also I missed, obviously. That's why the evaluation is minus 1.6 because of this move. And now, basically, if I just take, he has a check, and he gets the bishop with the rook because it's much better. And if I take again, you know, he gets the bishop again. But here, if I try, so here, if I try, to know, to go for bishop g6 counter sacrifice, now he just has bishop takes h2, and after king takes h2, just queen g6, and you know, after this trade, I mean, he's just a pawn up, and he has the winning chances. But he didn't see that one, and you know, he just went for a lazy double of the rooks, and here after I went with the bishop back, I quickly realized that no, my bishop has to be guarding this exact square here. So he checked me, I went up, and he put his bishop on c5, you know, protected by two pawns, guarding this diagonal, and a good spot for the bishop. Now, this move, I wanted to trade rooks, opportunity which he gave me here. To trade rooks, and you know, now basically he just goes back, and now all I have to do is come back with the bishop, defend it, and basically there's no way in. I mean, supposedly if he comes back here, I can now play rook f1 that I wanted to play previously, because now I'm actually gonna have some things. If he goes gobbling up pawns, this is mate in 9 after the beautiful sacrifice bishop g6. But okay, he didn't play that, so there's no point in analyzing things like that. Here I just played rook f1, and I forgot my bishop was hanging, so that's all I had to do, go back, and he didn't have no way in. I was completely safe. You know, maybe there were some things that he could have tried, but okay, I would have been safe. But no, instead I get scared and well, I just blunder the piece, and you know the rest of the game is nonsense. I mean, this is resignable, which I resigned obviously, but kind of hard, kind of hard. Okay, so up until this point, I've played 3 games and all of them have been lost. And you know, that due to time reasons and everything, but okay, fine. You know, I've still got one more game. So as Eminem would say, you only got one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. So let's see.
Да. Я еще дал чуть-чуть меня. Começa aí, ó. Tira a partida. Não, tira. Чуть-чуть.
So game 4, the final game. I'm playing with the black pieces again, and as you saw from the video, he played some sort of reti, here, you know, he basically asked me if I know how to play the Grunfeld or not, as we went for this, and I told him that I hope so. And from the start, like, I knew c5 is a move here, and after rook b1, castles is the best move. But here I play queen a5, and as you saw from the video, now queen a5 is a mistake. But in the end, he doesn't really remember why it's a mistake. It's a mistake because rook b5 can be played, and then when I take this pawn, I mean, he takes this pawn, and you know, the center mass is getting kind of hefty in here, and it's not gonna be easy for me to defend. I have to, you know, defend the bishop, like knight d7, for example, and again, this is a better position for white. But after queen a5, he misses this idea, plays bishop b5, and after bishop d7, here he plays a4. Now the crazy thing is that this offers me the chance to have a winning advantage, because after this move, basically he cannot go for knight takes because of queen takes c3, obviously, and now after he blocks, let's say I just take here. So therefore, you know, he would have to castle, and then I would take, and so now I would be up 2 pawns temporarily, but there are still chances for him. That's why the Grunfeld is so crazy and complicated. But anyway, I did not see this move, and you know, I played something like knight c6, which is much more tame. But okay, he didn't get his advantage from the opening, and you know, I think that I'm doing pretty okay. Okay, so now after I play knight c6, he gets his advantage back, and here he just castles, and I castle, and now it's minus 2.5 after the move d5, which he obviously plays. I play knight b8, it's the only move basically. I mean, knight e5 is not a move because after knight takes, just bishop takes, so no deal there, and this is not possible because of rook b5. And you know, now just knight b8, I take, sorry, he takes, I take, and he takes here. A knight b6, and now he takes another pawn. So in the end, he's up a pawn, and he plays this move bishop e3. He's +2, the position is +2, and he is up a pawn. So how do I save this? Because the title says there is still hope, so maybe there is still hope actually. Okay, so after he plays this move, bishop e3, obviously I have to defend the pawn, although it's not the best move. Apparently knight takes c4 is better, but I didn't want to play this, you know, allowing two passed pawns. I feel like I don't have any counterplay. So okay, rook fc8, he goes back with the knight, best move. And it's the best move because now he just plays e5, close everything off, and now even f4, solidifying the center and everything, and basically I'm without any hope. The bar is further and further down here, which is not good. It's plus 5.5, not good at all. Knight b3 though, and this is a big mistake because of the move a4, but obviously I don't play a4. Thing is a4, knight a5 apparently is the best move because after knight takes e5 you have bishop d2, but okay, this is not hard to find for him. But you know, maybe he would have played something else here, but you know, going back with the knight is not that good. Now it's only +1, but I didn't see that one, so I just went for a check and this idea. But he bit the idea. He actually bit the poison here. He got baited, and because the thing is, if now he plays something just like rook b7, he's set. Right, defends the knight, prepares the push, but it's kind of hard, you know, blitz game, and it's a free pawn in a way, but it's a pawn trade. But if we compare this pawn trade to the previous pawn trade here, right, so here it's different. Now he has 2 pawns here, but in this variation here, where is it here? Now he has these 3 pawns, but it's a lot more unstable. Thing is, now he defends his knight, and now it's minus 2.2. Oh my, I was so excited that the board was going like, okay, I attack the rook, and I'm at least drawing here. I said I'm at least drawing, but then I realized like this position, it sucks for him. He cannot do anything, right? He cannot move the king. He loses, like, let's say I just make a move, right? He cannot move the king, he cannot basically do anything. I mean, let's say, you know, for example, a4, right? That's what was played in the game. If he like tries to come in with the king, now I mean, you know, I continue to push, and there's nothing he can do at some point. Like if he does nothing, now I simply take, and then I push, and now I'm completely winning. So let's see how the game continues. Okay, so after this move, rook d1 was played. Now I played a4, and as you can see, advantage is growing and growing. a3, this pawn looks to be unstoppable. And here the best move is king f8, you know, to help with the defense of the pawn. But here I play rook a4. You know, triple attacking the knight, and here he played a trick, and I fell for the only trick in the position, the most stupid move in the world. After king e2, I'm completely winning after the move rook takes d4, but I don't find it. I play bishop takes a4, and now it's a draw. Well, it's a draw because rook b8 check, king g7, and he just pushes the pawn, and now I have to play this move. This is the only move, or else, you know, I cannot give a check. This move is just winning because now I cannot guard both. I mean, you know, now he just oops, not there, but here. And now he's just much better, even winning, because I don't have the same idea. Now he just takes. So Alright, so bishop b6 has to be played, and I mean, here if I had just taken with the rook and now he doesn't have anything, this doesn't work because I just take and then I go for check and then I'm up a piece. I'm up a piece, and not only up a piece, up a whole pawn that's 2 squares away from promotion. I'm you know, this is like one of the top worst moves that I've ever played. But okay, time situation wasn't that good, so I played this, and now just bishop b6 the only move. He just takes the bishop, and now I check him once, I check him twice. This is very important to get his king away. And now I played this move because the thing is, if I play this this right away, now this is losing because after rook takes, now he has this rook d6, and right, I cannot take and go here because when he makes a queen, when I queen, I don't queen with check, and therefore he gets another move. This is very important because in this variation right here, after I go rook d4, if he decides to take and go here, well, now it's actually much better for me to go for this because now I queen with check, and now I'm the one that's in control here. No, for example, king f2, okay, I'm still not winning, but sorry, yes, I'm winning, I'm completely winning. I just played queens. Yeah, I'm completely winning. So that's why he couldn't go for that. That's why here he made a queen. I took the queen, he took, and then I pushed, and now obviously he has to go back. Only move, I make a queen, he takes, I take with check, he comes up, and now he goes rook, I go rook a5, he pushes the pawn, we trade, and now I check him, and here we agree to a draw. Oh, the draw. Oh, the save, first the save, then the blunder, and the third the draw. That's how you end a truly hectic game. I mean, I'm so happy because I got this draw. Now I'm feeling much better, much confident in my chess, and you know, it was such a great experience playing against him. So during this 4 games, I lost 3 times and made a draw. I kind of learned a lot about the Grunfeld and also about my opening, which is the English and the Catalan, most likely the Catalan, because in the first game there was kind of a Catalan, and you know, in the end I made a draw. I should be happy about it, but I could have won. But again, I should be happy with the draw. So that was the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really worked a lot on this video, over 5 hours of work, and I really would appreciate it if you would leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Kowalski out.